Hello everyone. I hope you're all keeping well and bearing up okay in these continuing very strange times for us all. We thought it was important to keep all our fantastic supporters updated with the latest news from the club, even in the aftermath of Bruce's very eloquent broadcast with SUFCtv a couple of weeks ago before our pre-season friendly with Dulwich Hamlet. There's been a lot going on. Time has flown by and we're about to embark in the coming days on a new National League campaign. So, what are we doing right now as a club? How are we addressing the challenges that we all face in these difficult times? Well, let's just rewind the clock very briefly just to set the scene again. Doesn't seem possible that it's 6 months or so now that have elapsed since that crazy match against Hartlepool United in March, which was the final home game, as it turned out, of last season, and the last time that we've all been together watching football together at Gander Green Lane. Then, of course, lockdown occurred, and with it, all the income streams that we would normally expect as a football club effectively stopped. The board has met weekly, as I hope that you've all been able to access the board room bulletins that we've posted on the main club website. There have been 24 of them now, which seems extraordinary in itself, and we've tried to keep everyone abreast of what's going on and what we're doing as a club as this crisis has developed for the country. So as a board, we've obviously looked at every income line, every expenditure line. We've taken advantage of the furlough scheme, which has obviously been fantastic for every club, and any grant that was available to us, we've also been able to apply for, and for the most part succeeded in being able to increase revenue to the club through those sources. But the club has obviously been pretty much shut throughout that whole time. All our normal income streams through bar revenue, private hire, pitch hire, boom boom club, and of course football matches has been naught, pretty much naught over the period. And what we've had to do is to ensure that we maintain a cost neutrality as far as possible as a football club over those long summer months. We were also delighted when we were able to react to lifting of government restrictions and some of the measures in place to be able to put in place on Friday evenings a bottle bar, which has been very ably led, and grateful thanks to him, to Mark Kidd and his able team, who've put together the opportunity for us to bring in some much needed revenue on Friday evenings at that bottle bar, but also, really importantly, re-engage with our brilliant fan base. It's been a great community event as well, all those Friday evenings, and has enabled us all to get together and obviously social distancing and ensure that we keep in touch with each other. Really important as part of that Sutton United family. And then, of course, subsequent to that, we've all been working towards, once the fixtures were released, an October start with fans in the stadium, albeit we knew at the time that there was likely to be quite a significant reduction in the capacity in the stadium. Dave Fairbrother and his amazing team, Mike Chenery and Kev Thackeray and others besides, have worked really hard too in ensuring that we and our stadium was COVID-19 friendly. And so the endless administration that was required, putting together all the documentation required of us to be compliant, to enable us to go through stages 1 to 5 of the protocols for return to action, took place. And also we've made various changes to the stadium itself in that time, including erecting new barriers and fences, putting new gates in fences, zoning off various areas, putting up hand sanitizer stations, ensuring that the stewarding that we were going to be putting in place was appropriate to the new regulations, and measuring out each particular corner of the ground, putting lines across whole rows in the grandstand, and ensuring that we were able to submit a realistic new stadium capacity for ratification by our local licensing officer, such that we would be able to stage matches successfully at Gander Green Lane in the new world. Then, of course, came the hammer blow last week that with the rising of infection rates, we were told that the stadium was not going to be reopening with fans in it, and that income stream would obviously be deprived for us and, of course, all clubs at our level. Meanwhile, of course, our players had come out of furlough at the end of August. They have been training hard and preparing hard for a tough campaign ahead. Pre-season is now complete. They've played 6 friendly matches and they're all ready and raring to go for the new season, which of course has put us in, and all clubs at our level, in this extraordinary catch-22 situation none of us would believe would be possible. We are still required, obviously, to take all the costs as a football club to operate successfully, including obviously players' contracts and all the other attendant costs with running a stadium and running a club at our level, but without any of the benefit of any income coming in through match day income. And it isn't just the gate money here that we're talking about, of course, but it's all the peripheral spend which is so important to us on a week-by-week basis. On match day, it's obviously all the peripheral spend with food and beverage and particularly across the bars, but obviously merchandise and other sales as well. And of course then there's the regular week, day-by-day spend that we enjoy now at the stadium through its increased usage on a 7-day-a-week basis, plus pitch hire, plus facility hire, plus the Boom Boom Club, etc., etc. All that income is obviously being removed. So, what do we do to address this situation? We're faced with the league season starting in a few days' time, and nothing really changed in terms of income opportunities for us as a football club. Well, the first thing, of course, that we were able to do, which was a relaxation of the rules in this regard, was to introduce live streaming to our fan base worldwide, dare I say. This started with the pre-season friendly against Eastbourne, and there have been a number of changes made to the structure of that live streaming operation and the quality of it, such that we were really getting ourselves ready in the event of us not having any supporters to be able to live stream a qualitative product to our supporter base for all home league games. And of course we are happy to be able to have put that in place, and we will be making announcements each week with regards to arrangements for that live streaming service and how that's going to take place for every home game from now on. And of course away games can also be live streamed by our hosts in those examples, and they will let us know what their plans are similarly. So that's one positive, I guess, although that won't go an awfully long way to fill the gap, the income hole that's been caused by not being able to stage matches with supporters in the ground. Marvellously, we have now sold 720 season tickets for the coming season. Thank you to all of those who have participated in buying a season ticket, and even without really knowing what the situation was going to be in the coming season. That's been income which has been a godsend for us, and really, really very important to enable us to continue to meet costs throughout the summer months and now the beginning of the new season. Obviously the situation with season ticket holders is that they will be gaining access to the live stream free of charge for the home matches, and obviously gain priority access to the stadium when circumstances allow. Thank you again to everybody who has committed to the club in that way. Of course, you will have seen in the media and heard, I dare say, particularly on the radio, on BBC London, on Talk Sport recently, Bruce has been talking to the media about the plight that we as a club face, and all clubs at our level, and indeed above and below us too in the league pyramid, and what is required in order to enable clubs to continue to operate. And an awful amount of representation has been made, not just via the club chairman here, but by MPs too, and other bodies who have stated that the community outreach programmes that football represents is so important to the fabric of local life that funding to enable clubs to operate and to start the season from football authorities and or government bodies is going to be a vital precursor to the season commencing. We are also waiting, obviously, for final ratification from the National League with regards to plans in this regard. We know that right now, as I speak to you that there are representations in place, and we await further news on what level of support will be forthcoming and how much it will contribute to enable us to operate as we would wish. To that end, we introduced a few weeks ago now, on the 22nd of August, we introduced a scheme called United We Stand 2020. And this was a plea to our fantastic fan base to help us get through this really tough period. The income hole that we identified as a consequence of COVID-19 was in the region of around £200,000. And sure, obviously we've had some income coming from other sources, but there's still a substantial gap that we needed to fill in order for us to take the costs going forward to be able to continue to compete at National League level. So this scheme was ably put together by two supporters of the football club, Phil Tattersall and Jason Reynolds, who've really grabbed it by the throat and driven it. They've really spearheaded this programme, and they've been ably helped by, I think, a really great user-friendly website representation by Steve Grant. I have to say I'm a little bit obsessed with that counter and the Hall of Fame on there as it continues to rise day after day. And that figure, with now in excess of £33,500 and over 375 supporters having already donated to the scheme, I have to say has been really quite a humbling and an overwhelming thing for us all to take on board. Just superb, and thank you to absolutely everybody who's played their part in helping the club in this regard. United We Stand 2020 is a really important club initiative. It's a very simple one. One of these badges of honour can be worn, limited edition. We've only done 500 of them. We're hoping that we're going to be having to do a reorder on them at some point in the near future as the fan number increases. But whether your donation is £20 or £200 or whatever it may be on a standing order or on a single donation basis, every single penny is helping towards ensuring that our fabulous football club can continue to operate and compete at the level that we're competing at. So thank you very much indeed for your support, but there's still a long way to go until such time as we hear more from the governing bodies, the National League and football authorities about how this season ahead is going to operate. This scheme, alongside all the other activities that we're exploring, is a really important income stream that otherwise would not be available to us. So please, if you haven't donated yet, please do what you can to help us in this regard and spread the word as far and wide as you can. We've had donations from countries around the world, which is just superb to see coming in on a day-to-day basis. And for me, it really represents what this football club is all about. I know we're biased, but Sutton United is really a strong community football club, and it's all about its fan base. Without it, the football club is nothing. And together, we're working really hard to ensure that we're making the progress that we need to make. Matt Gray and his management team, I think, doing a superb job. He's got a squad of players who understand what it is to play for Sutton United. They respect Sutton United Football Club. They enjoy it. They wear that amber and chocolate with considerable pride. I know that. And they're all part of this together. Your board is working really hard to ensure that we continue to drive the revenues going forward to ensure we're able to compete. Fan bases all together. It's wonderful to see everyone back socialising with each other. It would be even better if we were all able to congregate in a stadium and cheer on the team. But in the meantime, what we're doing is reacting to every single day that goes by in the best way that we possibly can, and we're reliant on our magnificent fan base in order to ensure that this goes forward. There are prizes attached, obviously, to the United We Stand 2020 scheme as well, including shirts, new design shirts, which look fabulous themselves, and other prizes as well. And Phil Tattersall has just put up some Amazon Fire tablets as well, which we're going to do as a little quick draw soon in the next few weeks. And what we will promise is that we will always keep you informed with what's going on at the club and how we're performing and how we're reacting to the current situation. fingers crossed that we'll get some good news in the next few days. The league season, as I say, is right around that corner. But together, we're going to get through this and make sure that we are strong as a club, and prove, if ever needed proving, that we really are absolutely in this together. So thank you for your continued support. Really looking forward to catching up with you all again, and hopefully see you very soon. Forever Amber.